What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Are You Serious? Of course, quarantine version again. It's what it'll probably be for the remainder of its life. But we got Mr. Browning again and Trystan, and we're going to get right into things. We're going to talk about the NFL draft, and then we're going to talk about the highly anticipated documentary, The Last Dance, that came out on Sunday. The first two parts about the 97-98 Bulls team, and Michael Jordan also is featured in it. But we're going to start the NFL draft, and I know Trystan, I'm sure you've been, looking at the draft. I can already see him not to
I'm
say.
excited for my Vikings. Big year right here.
Yeah. So, what are your expectations, maybe for like the beginning of the draft? Like, who do you think those first few picks are going to be? But then, who do you want the Vikings to get also?
Okay, so I think the first 10 picks are kind of set in stone for at least the first three. I think you go Joe Burrow, number one, Chase Young, number two. And I think the Dolphins, if they really want Tua, I think they'll trade up that three just to make sure the Lions don't decide to, switch up and take a QB. Giants, I think, go Simmons, the best overall. I think he's the best overall prospect, honestly. He's a dude who can play
Is
anywhere on
that
the
the dude for Clemson?
Yeah, that's from
He's a
Kansas,
monster.
like Blue
Yeah,
Valley or whatever. And then I think Lions go Okuda. They haven't. I don't think I couldn't name a corner on their team, so I think they go Okuda.
Okuda might be my favorite player in the draft. I like him a lot too.
He's solid. I don't think the Chargers go with the quarterback. I think they wait till the second round. I think they take Jerry Jeudy, sixth overall, pair him up with Michael Williams, I believe. Add something.
I can't. Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen? Oh, yeah, Keenan Allen. So I think they get like a Judy or something to just have that receiving core. I think they draft like Jacob Eason early second round. I think Panthers go Derek Brown at D tackle. And I think Cardinals take that Willis offensive tackle or CD Lamb because, they need a wide receiver. If Judy doesn't go, I think Cardinals will take Judy to pair him up.
Jaguars, you got your notes?
Loud.
Oh, I got my
You got
notes.
your notes?
I think Jaguars go with
Outstanding.
or
Is this Todd McShay?
I think the Browns take offensive tackle because the offensive line wasn't very good last year. It's a little bit old, so they need some young pieces. I think one of the best overall one of the best prospects in the draft, Mekhi Becton. Dude's humongous. I think he'll be very good for them. And then my Vikings, I think with pick 22, I think they wait till second round to go receiver because we definitely need another receiver. But we also need an edge rusher. So I think we take A.J. Epineza from Iowa, 22nd pick. And then the 25th pick, I think we go with either Jeff Gladney or the Johnson from Utah, two physical corners. I'm hoping for Gladney. I think he'd be best. And hopefully they can step into the Vikings organization, get us a Super Bowl. Probably not, but hey.
All righty. And all right, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, it's a
show. Oh man, he came with all the preparations.
Got my top 10.
Absolutely.
Browning, who do you want what do you think are for the Chiefs? I mean, just coming off a Super Bowl, so.
Right, and the Chiefs are with bringing back Rashad Breeland and bringing back Sammy Watkins, they're in a really advantageous position to take the best player available. Outside of quarterback, tight end, and receiver, they can really do whatever they want there at 32. I would be an advocate of trading back because they only have five picks for the whole draft. So if one of those quarterback-hungry teams that want, the Love kid from Utah State or somebody else there late in the first round, if they want to trade back, that'd be great. Otherwise, if they stay there, middle linebacker, Patrick Queen from LSU, if he somehow survives at 32, I don't know if he will or not. The Murray kid from Oklahoma maybe be there at 32 as well. So there's not a huge need, which I guess if you win a Super Bowl, there really shouldn't be that many huge needs.
Yeah, I saw something about talks of them trading up to get Henry Ruggs.
Now that I don't understand.
That would be insane. Another 4-3 dude with that receiving core. That'd be the best offense in NFL history. Like, there's no way.
If you have to sacrifice picks in this draft, which you only have 5, to go get a position of want, not need, I don't understand. Besides, I don't think Ruggs will fall past 17 or 18 anyways. But if he did, I don't understand why they would do that. I have no idea.
That'd be insane.
Koby, your Cowboys also kind of in a similar spot, I feel like, as the Chiefs. We talked about this a lot throughout the fall. That team, the roster is loaded. there's talent everywhere.
It is, yeah.
So, I mean, are they the best position available kind of pick as well?
I really think, and I hope, I don't know if he will, they can get Grant Delpit somehow from LSU. I mean, I love his game. I think he'd be I mean, their safeties and corners have been average at best. I mean, you had Byron Jones, but we don't even have him anymore, I believe. And so at that point, you just have a bunch of young guys. So why not, you have the O-line, of course. Travis Frederick did retire. Tyron Smith is getting kind of old. So you have Zach Martin still. So you might want to go O-line since you just paid Zeke $90 million and you want to keep him healthy and let him thrive. Other than that, I mean, you have Cooper. You don't really need a wide receiver. All the receivers played well last year. The linebacking core has huge potential to be great. I think it's just the secondary in my eye. You got to go get a corner or a Delpit, and Delpit can roll down, and I mean, he can play a lot of different positions.
You read some of the experts, and they say that the positions that are most the deepest positions, I guess, are receiver, cornerback, and offensive tackle are the three spots in the draft that really are deep enough where you could, if you want to take a receiver, if you want to trade back later in the first round and get a receiver, you could definitely do that because there's about 8 guys that could be drafted in the first round. Mm-hmm. So I think teams, I don't know how you feel, Kobe, but teams like the Cowboys, even the Vikings too, Trystan, who have picks there late in the 20s, they've got some wiggle room to move back, move up, whatever, depending on what guys there. I've read that your NFL writers, your experts don't think there'll be a lot of trades. I still think there'll be several trades.
No, well, I think the Vikings have a good chance of trading up to like Chiefs or to not Chiefs to the Cowboys spot, even higher to try to get a receiver. I've seen them try to trade up to get. I've seen CeeDee Lamb. I've seen Henry Ruggs. I mean.
Well, if you have 2 firsts, you can definitely do it.
Oh yeah, 2 firsts, and then I think we have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, so we have a lot of room to do whatever we want.
I think the team to me that is the most interesting is Miami because of the 3 first-round picks, and I think they have 3 more on day 2. So if they really think that somebody's going to trade up to number 3 or even number 2, if Washington, they're not a very smart franchise. Who knows if they pass on Chase Young? But if somebody like Indianapolis or Los Angeles want to move up to get Tua, the Dolphins have the firepower to definitely make sure that doesn't happen. And I would be stunned whether it's at number 2, 3, 4, 5 if Tua is not a Dolphin come this time next week.
Yeah, there's talks of them taking maybe Herbert over Tua, but I take Tua. I honestly would probably take Tua number 1 if I was over Burrow. Honestly, I like Tua a lot.
Wow.
It just depends if he can bounce back from the injury, and that's what it depends on. But I saw his pro day, and he looked pretty good. So
and the injury is the only question because it's long been established since he's been in Alabama that he is a franchise all-pro type talent if he can just stay healthy, and that is the biggest concern. I tend to agree with Trystan that if I was at the Bengals, I would think very seriously about taking Tua at number 1. I like Joe Burrow, but I think Tua has a chance to be a transcendent player in the NFL.
I think I think he could be kind of up there with the Drew Brees status, I think, because he's a little smaller QB. Drew Brees is a little bit smaller. I think that it could be something to that, but who knows.
As I'm thinking about this draft right now and I'm thinking about all the different teams, I think this next year will kind of be a year like we were saying the NBA was going to be this year where everything is kind of up for grabs. Like I can't think of other than maybe the Chiefs and Baltimore, there will be your favorites, but I can't think of a team that, will just be awful or is planning on being awful because, the Patriots now don't have Brady. So that division, they're all going to be trying to win that division. The Saints and the Falcons and, who knows what the Panthers are going to do. But I struggle thinking of a team that is just planning on being bad this year.
Well with the NFL,
Jaguars, maybe. Jaguars, I'd say, because they're looking to trade in Ngakoue, maybe Fournette.
I mean, there will be a couple teams, but even when you look in that NFC West division, like Rams, Cardinals aren't playing on. They just went and got Hopkins.
Division football thing.
Would be better.
That's a monster division. Like I just can't think. I struggle to find teams that just aren't planning to be good this year.
But with the NFL and how quickly you can become good,
right?
I would like in basketball and baseball too. You sometimes know you're just going to have to, if you have young kids or in baseball, if you have young prospects, you have to just kind of in NFL, you can't do that. You can go from 3-13 to 13-3 and very quickly. And the Chiefs did that. Andy Reid's first year, they were I think they went 11-5, and the year before that they were 2-14. So it can happen really fast. So I'm with you. You get the right picks here, and not just first round, but throughout the entire draft, you can become a playoff team if you're a team like the Bears or the Giants or the Raiders. You can become a playoff team really fast,
right.
Especially in a draft like this, which they say is a very deep draft.
For sure, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna switch over to the NBA-ish, but the Last Dance came out on Sunday. Both parts. It's 2 parts. It's a 10-part series. They're gonna show 2 parts every single Sunday. Trystan, I'm sure we'll watch it at some point. He saw it on Twitter a little bit, but he's in South Dakota.
It's a must watch.
He
It
didn't get
really
to
is a
watch
must
it.
watch if you're a sports fan. If you like sports, you better watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was good. So, Brian, I'll ask you first. What were your general thoughts on it, and did it live up to the hype? And tell me.
Okay, first off, I don't know about you, but I checked the clock so many different times on Sunday, hoping that it was 8:00. I mean, I was looking forward to things so much.
I did too.
My thoughts are it was incredible. It takes me back to I was in the 6th grade actually, and I thought it lived up to the hype. And I think we're going to see a different side of Michael that we haven't seen before, and that's okay. He made a comment to somebody that people's perceptions of him will think he was a bad teammate or whatever. I think that's fine because I think that's just who he was. That's a good leader in my opinion, And then the whole thing with Scottie Pippen, and how he lived in poverty his entire life, and he took he signed that long-term deal in the early 90s, and people were very critical of that because he wasn't. By the time he became a free agent in 1998, he was one of the lowest paid starting players in the whole league. Just some dynamics that you didn't know about that were so interesting with that team, and then Koby, did you know about Jerry Krause basically saying that this is Phil Jackson's last year no matter what happens? I never knew that.
I never knew that either, to be honest with you. I didn't know that they all knew it was going to be the last thing you go around no matter what. I thought it was just like Jordan was old, I'm done, and I'm going out on 6. But I learned a lot of stuff. I think this episode was one of the more okay, I knew that, and you didn't get too much. You got some insight on stuff you didn't know, but I think these next coming episodes, when they actually get into the season, because they kind of were setting the groundwork in these first 2 episodes.
Right.
And, you were learning about Michael's childhood and stuff, but which was still fun to learn about, watching him at North Carolina and how dominant he was, as a rookie. Holy cow. I don't think I've seen anybody see anything like that.
Oh, my goodness.
The Boston series, him only being able to play 7 minutes a half, there was so much tension between him and the organizations that win championships and whatnot. But there was so much insight that it was that's just amazing. You just didn't know that.
What was interesting, this is where I think Trystan, you can chime in here, is that you had all these the social media people now talking about the comparison between LeBron and MJ. I don't know why we just can't. Yeah, it's a fun debate to have.
Yeah, that's all. People just appreciate their greatness. Quit comparing them to they're both goats. Just appreciate their greatness. That's what I saw a lot of on Twitter.
They're really not even comparable.
They're not. They're not.
And it's not even fair to. It's not even fair to compare. Jordan was so far ahead of his time, but it's still not even fair to compare time periods because, of course, the game has just evolved. People have just evolved, athletically and skill wise. You can't put Kevin Durant in Bob Cousy's time. Of course he would average 1,000 points.
Right. And think about this. In the 80s and 90s, it was a very physical league. It was grueling. And now the defensive rules have laxed so much. Jordan would score so many points in today's game. My goodness, he'd score a ton, just like what some of these guys are doing now. So I agree with you, Trystan. I appreciate from both of them for who they are. And let's just stop this debate now because it's a never-ending debate that nobody's ever going to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what a slap in the face to Andre Roberson. Did you, the 102nd? Scottie Pippen was 22nd highest paid player, and they were like compared to Andre Roberson. I was like, dude, Andre Roberson's at home watching this. Like, come on, man. Like, golly.
Oh,
He was
That
not
guy.
expecting to be in that, was he?
Poor Andre Roberson, man. But
So I
yeah, I'm
guess-
so excited. Say what?
Oh, I was gonna say, episode 3, I guess,
Oh,
ties into Dennis Rodman being the
Yes.
bad guy at first, and then coming to the Bulls, and then being a good teammate. That's going to be incredible to watch.
Oh, hey, that episode is going to be probably the best one yet. I can't wait for that Dennis Rodman one. And then you get whatever episode 4 is. Like, the funny thing you say about checking the clock, I was checking it all day. But while I was watching it, I was checking it too, hoping that like I still had like there was a lot of time left in the documentary because I didn't want to quit watching.
Somebody on Twitter said it was the fastest 2 hours of our quarantine. So it was.
It really was, and I don't know about you, but I was watching Peyton Manning do his little interview with the Bears for like 10 minutes ahead of time. Like, come on now, this is good, but let's hurry it up.
I did not have the channel on another. I did not have the TV on another channel because I did not want to risk missing any part of this whatsoever.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, episode 3 and 4 are going to come out again on Sunday at 8 and 9 p.m. So I think everybody's looking forward to that. Trystan, hopefully you can be tuned in, and hopefully you're all caught up by
I'll be
then.
back home Sunday. I'll be sitting down watching that. Gotta make sure to turn into that episode. I'll probably watch the first one somehow.
Yeah, you gotta find a way. If it's on the ESPN app or something, I'd watch it because it is it's captivating television.
It really is. Like, and before we go, like watching Jordan like get on some of these guys in practice that were like good players, like Ron Harper, like the way he was looking at them in their eyes was like, oh my God, like I can imagine that. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. He's a different breed, man. But that is the end of this. Are You Serious? On Friday, we have a big time guest coming on the show, and I'm not gonna give you guys any hints, but you guys can come back on Friday and check it out. We're going to have an interview going on here. Like I said, we're going to keep bringing the guests in. That's our goal right now. So we're excited for that one. Stay tuned for that. But have a good rest of your guys' week, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace out.